You guys good? You guys got everyone you need? Okay. Really, came out of the game relatively clean. Obviously, there's plenty of maintenance things that have to occur during this week, but Justin's in concussion protocol. That's the only one that we'll have to navigate as the week goes, and then some of our guys coming off of injuries. Obviously, we'll see how this week progresses with some of those guys. Caesar, Dylan, and obviously Chase. So. Yeah, I thought they came out of it pretty well, and so obviously, the more time on task, the more we'll be able to build those roles for those guys. I thought both those guys did a really good job. Obviously, limited role, just coming off of the PUP, but I thought there was a lot of positives there.
With like some young players or players that are new to you and everything, the ramp up can be a little lengthy. Is the ramp up for those guys a little faster just because of their veteran status?
Yeah, they certainly have more exposure to football, and they can lean on those experiences. And so, I thought those guys were really ready. You saw it Wednesday when they got out there to practice. It just felt like they were ready to go, and they could execute at a really good level. And so, obviously, there's time that'll increase the volume for those guys, but they're in a good place.
What do you think of your congratulatory messages on the first win? Text messages?
Yeah. No, it's it's been a journey for our entire group, and so really excited for our guys to get the win. And certainly, shows how the NFL community is a unique community in the sense that all of us kind of share these different challenges and obstacles that we all take through an NFL season. And so, it's always awesome to hear that.
What did you think of your offensive line's performance in pass pro?
Yeah, to 0 sacks against that group is phenomenal. I thought Kelvin and Tully playing, tackles against those premier edge rushers. I thought they just did a phenomenal job. The whole group as a core did. Eric leading the way. I thought there were so many positives there. Trevor getting back in the mix. Selly going in there and just battling every play. It's an awesome group.
Has Jonas's production so far surprised you at all, or just what he's been able to show on that?
I mean, he's a really good player. We knew that. We felt fortunate to be able to draft him. He's going to be a really good player for us for a long time. Obviously, I think his ability to get better, just really quickly has been really impressive. His ability to respond to different circumstances, different first experiences. The last couple of weeks, his ball production obviously has shown up. His ability to just be around the ball, be able to make plays on the ball. He's doing a really, really good job.
Outside of those kind of, we'll call them splash plays, but like the takeaways and things like that, what are some of maybe the finer detail things that he does that stand out to you and Brandon?
Jonas?
Yes.
Yeah. I think his pursuit to the football is really, really good. His space tackling, I think, shows up. There's a couple of the way they played. You're going to be in some one-on-one tackling plays out in space, and I thought he did an excellent job. I thought Alante had a couple really good ones. Kool-Aid had one on a catch-and-run opportunity, and so he's just doing a really good job. I think the more and more he's playing, the steadier he's becoming, the more consistent he's becoming, and that's an important piece of playing safety on the back end. You're tying everything together, and you got to communicate at a really high level.
What are you seeing with some of your guys' maybe issues in the red zone?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just not getting behind the sticks and playing, catch-up football down there. We're not good enough on first down. We're not efficient there. Usually most red zone studies you'll look at, when you have inefficient first downs and you kind of fall behind the sticks, it makes it really challenging. And so, I personally have to do a much better job. I got to do a bigger deep dive into that and really find ourselves better opportunities to be more successful on the early downs to put ourselves in good situations. If you're 3rd and 5 from the 5, those odds you can compete in those situations. But 3rd and goal from the 10, 11, numbers just aren't good.
And to follow up on that, you guys have had a lot of long drives this season, really 10+ plays.
Yeah.
Drives, but to stall out there, you have to settle for a field goal. Is it discouraging? What do you kind of make of it?
Yeah, ultimately you need to score touchdowns down there. Yeah, we're getting points, and that's it's kind of a fallback. You get 3 points out of the drive, but we got to get touchdowns down there.
Have you heard anything from the league yet in terms of clarification on the roughing the passer?
No.
And then just when it comes to your injuries and everything, kind of is there a level of expectation or optimism around Chase Young going into this week's practice?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, today was some really good work from his standpoint. We'll see if he's available to start ramping it back up on Wednesday. And he's done a really good job. I know he wants to get out there. He's doing everything he possibly can, and so I think there's certainly some optimism there.
Is there such thing as putting in an inquiry with the league on that, or filing a complaint, or anything along those lines?
We'll just look for some feedback just to educate ourselves better.
When it comes to just around the situation with Chase last week, when you ruled him out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What kind of changed there? I'm sorry if you've been asked this before, but what kind of
From
changed
last week?
there? Yeah, last week as opposed
To be honest, that was just me. When you go through injuries in this league, you lose the fact of the personal side of it, and you have to deal with a lot of questions, a lot of negotiations, a lot of people coming at you. Are you playing? Are you not playing? I just want to simplify it for him. Let him focus on the recovery process. Had nothing to do with a fallback or an issue in his recovery process. He's doing everything he can. I just know as a player, these guys get tired of that stuff because they're doing everything they can, and he's been phenomenal through this whole process. And I just want him to have that feeling of I don't have to play this game all the way through the week.
Does that come from your own playing experience? Just that, like, you wanted to play for a player?
I think you certainly understand, you lose sight of the personal side of this thing. Obviously, there's a tactical side that we're always playing the game of who's up and who's down and who's all that sort of stuff. But, he's done a lot of work, and it's been challenging for him to have to go through a longer recovery process just as you go through this thing. And, I just want to, when he's ready, he's going to be ready to rock and roll, and I have all the confidence in the world in him.
People, do you mean like outside, like inside the building?
Oh no, you just got to navigate it with personal friends, family, the media component of it, just navigating that. And so I certainly knew Caesar and him wouldn't make it through the week, and so try to simplify it for those guys.
You kind of touched upon it, but like, the longer this thing goes, it seems like maybe there is a perception that is he doing everything he can to get back? Like, what do you kind of just make of, I guess, people questioning his?
The people who matter aren't going to question him one bit. He's been awesome through this whole process. When he's ready, he'll be ready to rock and roll. Injuries take a lot to pass. These are some of the most impressive human beings from a physical standpoint you can possibly imagine, and they go through a lot to get their bodies ready to roll. And he is a tall, big guy that has huge impact on the field when he's out there, and he's got to be ready to go. And so he's doing an excellent job.
Following up on the celebration. Of course, the last time you celebrated in that locker room before yesterday was the Super Bowl. So how do you, with that being the ultimate goal, how do you compare that to your first win as head coach?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think just showing the resiliency of our guys. I think, we've just been so close the last few weeks, and we haven't quite got it done. And so it was a lot of fun. That group's a really special group. We got a cool blend of guys who've been in that locker room playing a lot of big games, have won a lot of big games in that dome, and a lot of younger guys who are experiencing this NFL journey for the first time. And so it's a fun group. Love the resiliency of it, and hopefully we get some more moving forward.
Are y'all still, like, in the process of working Devon Bailey into the offense? And is he maybe, like, does hip injury have anything to do with this? Or?
Yeah, obviously he missed a little bit, a couple weeks ago, and so he's getting better. Obviously he was able to play this week, and I thought he did a really good job. I thought he had a couple impact plays in the run game and in the pass game. Certainly, I think like Taysom and those guys, I think roles evolve and change and increase as we go, and so I thought he had a really good week this week. He was able to certainly practice a lot more than he had in the past, and so that was good.
You might not be able to answer this, but I'm going to ask because it's not like you're hitting bourbon after games or anything like that. But do you get a sense of the community response, or the city's response? Did you get a really good idea of what it meant to get that win?
Yeah. No, certainly at home. I think, when you win at that dome, I think quickly you realize, how awesome it is. It's a really special place. The atmosphere I thought was awesome on Sunday. Hey, we had missed 4 opportunities, and for the dome to still have that kind of energy, and when you saw Foster and Taysom go out there to do the who that, that was really cool. That was really, really cool, and I can you can feel that energy. And for us to fall down 14-3, and that dome still got energy, it's a really cool place. It's a really awesome community, and certainly you felt it.
Where are you at with Blake, and did you guys draft kickers this week?
No, Blake's. Hey, I think Blake's a really good kicker. People go through challenging circumstances in this league, and so job is to find a solution, get better. He knows that. We all know that. We're in this thing together, and so certainly our goal and aspiration is how can we help him just execute a little bit higher level, and so that's where we're focused.
The fact that you guys have another kicker on the practice squad, could you give him a week off for like a mental reset or anything like that?
No. I think we'll talk about that. Obviously, we feel good about Charlie as well. I mean, Charlie's been here for a couple of years, and so he's progressing as a developmental guy. And so, we just got to find a solution for Blake.
When you're navigating something like that, do you try to introduce new things for him in terms of training regimen or anything like that, or is it better to stay the course with all of it?
I think that's a good point. I think every player is a little bit different. Sometimes as you evaluate it, tightening up the routine, simplifying the routine is important. Sometimes, for all of us, sometimes there's value to just getting out of your comfort zone and going with a different routine. And so, we just gotta get there. And Blake's got too much good evidence to support that he can get there. And we collectively have to find that path.
You spoke about it this summer with Kendra and like giving like clean slate, like everybody having a clean slate.
Yeah.
But have you noticed that with just him being able to stay healthy and have some really solid production on the field, just like I don't know, confidence or anything like that?
Yeah, Kendra has just done a phenomenal job since I've been here. I've really enjoyed this guy. I think he's an awesome player. His play style is awesome. He's a really physical runner. Certainly I think he's earned more and more opportunities. And I think it's a good blend for him and Alvin to both be able to play, kind of in some balanced snaps, as that goes. Not every game is going to be like that. Circumstances are going to dictate it, and one may have to carry a little bit more load as it goes with Alvin, most likely. But I think Kendra's doing a great job. I thought there were some really dirty, hard runs in the 4-minute type football. We have a 2-score lead, and we're going to kind of grind it out. And it's not going to be pretty runs, I can tell you that. And his ability to get a couple first downs there and bleed the clock out, I thought was really valuable. And so, we feel like, heck, we got 2 really good running backs that are going to, give us a lot of good opportunities.
I didn't ask you about it last night, but the 4th down play call on the option route to Rashid over
Yeah.
the middle of the field, it was like 7-8 yards or
Yeah.
something. What was kind of the goal with that play, and was that exactly what you were looking for, or did something else get created?
Thought it was really good situational football. The previous plays, 3rd and 10, Spencer and Chris playing that situation out really, really well where, essentially we say all yards are good yards here. Just get a completion, put ourselves in a situation, then we'll make a decision after that whether to field goal, punt, or go for it on 4th down. I thought, they gave us the yards that we needed, put us in a 4th and 5 opportunity where we can go for it. It was going to be a long field goal or it was going to be kind of a short punt. And so, hey, the value of that was going for it there. Sheed, awesome route. Awesome route. That was the anticipation as a choice route for him. He's run a lot of vertical routes from that number 2 receiver position so far in this early part of the season. Thought he did a really good job. He won at the line of scrimmage, made an in-breaker. That was a big play to just bleed a little bit more time. We got one more 3-play sequence out of that after that.
We've kind of talked to you a little bit about this over the course of the season, but like how much have you just adjusted just like even the structure of the offense, your play calling, from week 1 to now, like just understanding your personnel a little bit better?
Yeah, the personnel part I think is important. Just getting a better feel for guys and how we can best utilize them. And every game plan is going to be a little bit different. But I feel like our guys I think are starting to find some continuity, some flow, some rhythm. I thought some of the 3rd down passing game stuff. I thought Spence did some really good things in there. The receivers were really dialed on some of those to convert some first downs, and so I think there's some growth certainly in this.
Is this one of those things where you kind of need to see what it looks like in games? Like you obviously spend a lot of time with these guys, but it looks different there.
No, I think every stage you get to grow, and so through training camp you learn a lot. Certainly through games you get to learn a lot, and so I feel like our guys are playing better each week. They're playing more consistent football each week. I think there's a lot of positives going through that. We're not there yet. We got to keep getting better. We got to play cleaner in a bunch of situational football, but we'll get there.
With getting used to the personnel, do you think that'll kind of solve some of the red zone issues too, of like finding out how to use valiantly and Taysom getting healthy?
Yeah. I mean, red zone. I just got to do a better job. I just got to, we got the guys. They're doing a good job. I got to find a way to get us in more sequential flow there to put ourselves in some positive situations because we got to run the football better down there, especially on the early downs, and then we got to find completion. So we, playing third and long in the red zone, you're going to be kicking a bunch of field goals. You're going to get a couple conversions out of that, but we got to play better situations down there.
What was the thinking behind the play, like, before? You guys took a shot at the end zone, but the one right before it, there was like 10 seconds left, and it was like a little screen or like
Yeah.
out to the side.
Yeah, basically had 2 downs left with the timeout in our pocket so we can throw it inbound still. They'd given a bunch of man-to-man looks, and so felt like, hey, let's try and see if we can get a man beater here. They played off. They kind of played off the mesh game and kind of matched the pattern out well, and so then we were down to only that one last play with 6 seconds left.
You had, yesterday, we were talking about, getting that first win. You mentioned Spencer specifically and just what the last year's been like for him. With us, he's always, or hopefully he's always just, very even. He said he does that on purpose, not getting too high or too low. Like, did you ever sense that it weighed on him at all, that 0-10 start? Like, frustration, anything?
No, he's the same guy. He's been consistent, and that's what I love about him. He's done an awesome job of battling through some really challenging circumstances, and I thought he played a bunch of good football on Sunday.
In your address to the team, the video of it,
Mhm.
you kind of mentioned something about like having like a if we win, if we lose sort of like notes or something. Like, can you kind of just expand on your process there? Like, you're taking notes throughout the game, but what do you want to address afterwards? Is it
I think sometimes you always have in your mind, how you address the team versus a win versus a loss, and gotten to use the loss version 4 times. I kind of got tired of it, so let's focus on the other one instead.
Did you treat yourself to anything last night in memory?
Got to hang out with the kids and spend some time with family, which is, these weeks are long, and so the weekend to come away with the victory is pretty awesome just to be able to hang out.
Just kind of expanding on what he said. So, like, right after the game, do you just write out, like, if it's a loss, like, this is the things we want to improve on, but also I want to give them positive things as well?
Yeah, you just have different notes, going into a game, coming out of a game. Obviously, you know what your goals and your blueprint is for the game, and just kind of addressing those things. So.
We didn't ask you the classic day after question, so I'll do it here. Anything stand out to you getting in the film review and everything like that maybe we didn't discuss last night or yesterday or anything?
I thought defensively we attacked the football really well. I thought our back end did an awesome job. I thought the patience in which our back end played, there were some balls downfield, some contested catch situations, and I thought our guys did an excellent job of being patient, attacking the football, getting their eyes back around. Offensively, I thought, the runners ran well. Thought, again, offensive line, I thought that was just phenomenal. You go back and watch the film and watch Kelvin and Tolley going against these guys, and, we got 2 really good first-round pick tackles. They got some of the best edge rush first-round picks the last few years, and for our guys to play that well, I thought it was credit to those guys. They played as arguably as good of a game as they've played this year, and so I thought special teams-wise, Chris Rump did a really good job. I thought he came alive in some special team situations. He had a couple plays in there, and so roles are continuing to grow, and I think guys are taking advantage of them.
you guys are using your edge rushers like maybe this is part of missing Chase, but like I think Carl with like 90% can play something like is it just your guys' philosophy to run those guys, or would you like a little bit more?
In a perfect world, you love to rotate those guys a little bit more, but obviously, they're playing a little bit more the last few weeks.
Coach, being able to see the run game and the pass game, being able to mix it up on the Giants, and then ultimately see that dial up for Rashid, what was the emotional response for the offense to see those opportunities?
Yeah, we needed that explosive play. Haven't gotten enough of them, and obviously it's still a goal of ours. We got to find more opportunities to create them, whether it's downfield or completions or runs that go for explosive plays. We got to create more explosives. It was a big play. Our guys needed it. I thought beautiful throw, beautiful route, great job. I think it was a big time moment in that game where those long drives, they're hard, they're challenging, and for you have a 1-play drive like that shifts the game.
The fact that you got hit on one yesterday, and then the week before you got the running game going a little bit. Do you feel like you're adding things throughout the course of the season
There's growth. There's certainly growth. Yeah, there's plenty of things we gotta get better at, and we focus on those really on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and through the week. There's certainly some positives, certainly some things that we've done that you feel like are going in the right direction.
When you hit a big play like that, like the 87-yarder, and then later on in the game, there's like that 19 and 16-yard pass interference penalties. Do you find a correlation between those in terms of challenging the psyche of the defense?
Yeah. I thought, we kind of counted them as explosive plays. We had 3 defensive pass interference calls, and credit to the receivers and doing a really good job there, and they created those opportunities, and so those move the ball just the same way. All right, thanks, guys.